Hello, hello, hello. Hola, hola, hola. Welcome to a new episode of the Yoga for All Bodies video podcast. As you can see on your screen, today I have an amazing guest for you. Claire Cunneen is an accessible yoga teacher and the owner of LB Chair Yoga Australia. Her goal is to positively impact anyone that she encounters, inspiring people to feel connected, happier, and live life to the fullest, no matter who they are, what body they are in, or what stage of life they are at. She has been in the fitness industry for more than 20 years, and she's striving to make yoga accessible and available to everybody. Hi, Claire.
Hello, hola. It's so
Hola.
great to be with you. It's so good to be with you and speaking on your podcast. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you for being here. I love what you do, what you share. Every single time someone asks me, how can I know more about chair yoga? Claire, and I send them your way.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Yes, well, it's definitely my passion and my interest, to share chair yoga with everybody. And like you said, make yoga accessible, and that chair yoga is just a beautiful way to do that. So
totally agree. Yes.
Yeah.
So I would like to know, how did yoga came to your life?
Yeah, well, I was in the fitness industry, as you mentioned, for a long time. I think it's about 25 years now. When I say that, I think, how can that be? But it's not possible. But yeah, I started with aerobics and all of that back in the day. So I had dabbled in yoga a little bit, but more just at the gym. I taught a few classes just covering for people, but I really loved it. And I could tell there was a bit of a feeling like something extra happens when you go to yoga. It's not just about stretching or exercise. There's something that happens. But I guess being in a body that had had a lot of injuries, not the really flexible kind of body that you kind of assume need to be in to do yoga, I was a bit too scared to do a yoga teacher training because I always thought I wouldn't be good enough. And I wouldn't really be able to do it, right? I'd be expected to do all these crazy things that I definitely couldn't do in my body. So I never had the guts to go and do a training until I actually went to the chair yoga training over in New York. And that was like, oh, I can just be me. So ding, 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 I can go and I can just be me. Oh my gosh, amazing. So that really opened up the doors for me, actually, before I had even done a yoga teacher training, was finding this course that I now teach and share, and realizing that you can just be yourself, and there's so many options and there's so many ways to practice, and everything is not one size fits all. And then as soon as I came back from doing that course, I ended up doing my teacher training, and it was really helpful for me to have a body like that, because I could teach the others in the course about like what to do if someone has an injury, or what to do if someone needs a bit more space, or what to do if someone needs a different option. So I ended up, I think, helping the people in my course, and instead of feeling embarrassed about that, I felt like that was a gift to share, which was actually really beautiful. So yeah.
Beautiful story.
Yeah.
Yes. I can relate in so many levels. Yes.
Yeah.
And amazing that you started with chair yoga. I mean, absolutely your passion. Yes.
Yes, it's never left me. Well, I started with that because my seniors, I was actually teaching Zumba Gold. And one day we just did 3 breaths. I don't even really know why I did it. I just, things happen in your class, you just do it. And everyone just went at the same time. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need to do yoga with these people. But of course I wasn't a teacher yet. So that's how I found this course. But we didn't have really anything in Australia. Like there was no mindfulness or anything like that for older people. So that's why I went to New York. But also, I mean, who wouldn't want to go to New York, right? It's a good excuse. So yeah, and I went back many times after that, to assist at the trainings and everything, because it was just something so special. So I learned a lot.
Love it.
Yeah.
And if someone is watching this interview and maybe they have an idea of what is chair yoga, how would you define it? What is chair yoga?
Yoga on a chair. Simply put. But basically we take all of the traditional yoga postures that you would practice on a mat and we put them onto a chair. So we don't really, in our chair yoga, we don't use the chair just as a prop. It's actually, the whole practice is done seated on the chair. So every single pose that you would do on a mat, you can adapt to the chair in a way that makes it accessible for everyone, because you can offer so many options when you're seated compared to standing, compared to lying. You know, a lot of people have trouble getting up and down off the floor, so it just takes that away. It takes away the fear of falling. It gives people an opportunity to all be kind of at the same place. There's no hierarchy, people up, people down. It's really beautiful just to have everyone seated. You can make it as strong as you want, you can make it as gentle as you like, by choosing the options that are given to you for every single pose. So it really is literally yoga on the chair. That's really what it is. I know it sounds so simple, but yeah, it just makes it so accessible and inclusive for everyone. You know, I have people who have all different challenges in their bodies or in their minds, or and they're different ages, they're different sizes, they're different genders. It's like everybody can be there at the same time in a chair yoga class, which is actually so beautiful for building community and helping people feel like they're part of it. You know, they don't have to go somewhere else and do a class with that particular condition of people, or you know what I mean, like the same, have the same conditions or the same kind of age or anything. They can all be there together. So it's really beautiful.
Love it. Yes, sounds wonderful. Yes, perfect. And I'm so glad you mentioned that, because sometimes we hear that chair yoga is only for seniors, or it's something like, oh, you can enjoy a vinyasa class anymore? Chair yoga is for you.
That's right. And a lot of people say, I'm not ready for chair yoga yet. And then they don't want to give in to the chair, you know what I mean? But it's for everyone. I have teachers out there who are teaching kids at school, and they are saying the effects in their classes are just amazing. They have so much more focus, they're much more settled, they're calmer in their reactions and things like that. It can be anyone, people in offices, and then of course you have people with disability, or people who are older who have had an injury and are recovering. You know, my friend just had 2 knee replacements. So the exercises that they gave her, she was like, oh, that's chair yoga. Actually, I've done that with you before. So, you know, so she's going to use chair yoga for her recovery, to get herself back on her feet. So it is really for everybody. But yes, there is such an idea that it's only for old people. That's what they say.
Yes, and
no,
that's not the
and
case.
No, definitely not. And anyone can do it. Anyone and anybody, any chair, anywhere. That's it.
And it's amazing that, as you were mentioning, people practicing at schools. Imagine you receive the tools of yoga from such young age.
I know. And the best thing is they don't have to really even stop working for very long, right? So they're not losing any of their education, or at the office, you're not wasting time away from the desk. You can literally just push your chair back a little bit and do it there, like, you know, where you are. Even just a moment can really change your day. So that's one of the biggest benefits, I think. You don't have to get changed, don't need a mat, you don't need anything, and everybody sits, right? So
absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's like a break for the mind.
Totally.
In between the day.
And don't we need that?
Absolutely. Yes.
Definitely need that.
For example, when I was at school, the chairs were like good, like this, super uncomfortable, and I would stand up after 8 hours of being seated with pain. So imagine having a break.
Imagine having a break every 30 minutes, or just 1 minute, you know, every 30 minutes, or or something like that, just to move your body and just take a breath, because how often do we not breathe as well during the day? And then when we go to our yoga practice, it reminds us to breathe as well. So it's so good for reducing stress and pains in the body as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you were mentioning that it specifically in LV chair yoga, you use the chair seated the whole time, or most of the time. So how would you describe the difference between using the chair as a prop and as part of the practice?
Yeah. So using I feel like using the chair as a prop, it's like you would be using it to, hold on to, or to still like you can use it. I mean, I'm not saying don't do that, because it's a beautiful practice as well. It's just a bit different to what we're doing in our class. But so using it as a prop, like you would use a block or a strap or whatever other props you want to use, maybe it will give people more height. It might be something to put their legs up on. It might be something to hold on to. Whereas we adapt all the poses so they can be just seated on the chair. So it's very different. So we wouldn't do, say, tree pose, standing beside the chair, holding onto the chair, just like you would on the mat, but holding the chair for balance. We would actually sit down and adapt the pose to suit on the chair, so if they could stay seated to do it instead. So yeah. So some poses don't always look the same, but you can definitely get the benefits of the pose. And I think that's really important anyway for any yoga teacher, is to stop worrying about what things look like and come back to what is it for? What is the benefit of the pose, and how does it feel in the body? That's the key, really, because that's the most important thing, right? It's not about what it looks like. It's about why are you doing it? Why are you doing it? That's the key.
Agree. Yes.
Yes, I know you do.
And I wanted to ask this difference about using the chair as a prop and as a practice in which you are seated, because we see, at least I see a lot of in social media, people like promoting chair yoga. Almost, for example, today I saw a picture of someone doing a warrior two, standing on top of two chairs. And using the hashtags accessible yoga, chair yoga is for everybody. And I was like,
what? That's just the same as doing it on the mat, right? And it's really interesting. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, I had someone come, because if you look at the hashtag chair yoga, it's really a lot of people doing acrobatic poses on chairs, or maybe doing some of the Iyengar adapted poses over the chairs and things like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's their practice, but what that does is if they hashtagging chair yoga, I see people too doing the warrior two, just standing over the chair, with their leg over the chair, not even touching the chair under them. And I'm thinking, what? You're just not really doing chair yoga, you're just standing over a chair. But anyway, when they hashtag chair yoga, it turns people away from finding the practice that is the accessible practice of chair yoga. Because I had someone come to my workshop at Mind Body Spirit, and she was in a wheelchair and she wanted to do my training, but she had seen the hashtag chair yoga and it scared her away. She was like, I need to see it first to make sure that it's not like that, because there's no way I would ever be able to do chair yoga. And for me to hear someone say that there's no way that they could ever do chair yoga, that just breaks my heart, because I believe that everybody can do it. Because, well, if they can sit up, they can definitely do chair yoga. And this is that, just, having all those pictures of people doing inaccessible things, and that being even accessible yoga has the same, it gets taken over by these people who aren't really promoting accessible yoga. They're just promoting themselves, I think. I'm not sure what they're doing, but it's not really for the people to be able to do it. It's sort of just showing what they can do, which is amazing what they can do, right? Love to be able to do that, but it's if it just scares people away a lot, and that is a big issue, I think, in social media. So
Yes,
people like you and I and a lot of other people now are stepping up to change that space, which is super, super important. And I love seeing your post because I feel like that is part of that changing of the perception of yoga from, I mean, because like look at me, I was saying I felt scared to go and do a yoga teacher training because I had seen all this stuff too. And so, I was there as well. And that's what I hear a lot from people, that they're scared of yoga. And that just shouldn't be, it shouldn't be.
agree, agree, agree. Yes, yes,
We're still on the same wavelength.
yes. And
Yeah,
I always say, we as yoga teachers, what we say, how we say it, what we put out there matters because it
100%.
sets a precedent.
Yeah,
If you say,
definitely.
yes, if you are doing this acrobatics on a chair and you name it, look at my chair yoga practice, people will believe you. That's chair
Uh-huh.
yoga. Okay.
Mhm.
So that's an example of chair yoga. And no, 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 no. We need to name the things how they are because
Yeah,
that's the way there will be different bodies, different minds of yoga teachers. Not
yeah.
everybody will look the same, will teach the same. Yes.
Yes, maybe they could say, I'm doing this shape, whatever that shape is, using a chair or something like that, instead of calling it chair yoga.
Mm.
Because for me, that does not represent chair yoga, at least not in the true essence of what I believe it is and what I want to share with the world that it is, you know?
Yes.
So
Yes,
the
yes, yes.
wording, like you said, is so important.
Oh,
So
hello.
it wouldn't be a video without Mickey, the movie
Mm,
star, having a moment to come and
so
visit.
cute.
Yeah, so cute.
And how would you describe a chair yoga class? Or what are the components? What can people expect if they join one of your classes?
Yeah. Well, first of all, we always start in. Oh, sorry. He just won't stop now. He'll stop. So first of all, we always start getting into sitting mountain, which is like Tadasana on the chair. And I love to do this because it sets people up in a really good foundational place for doing the practice. Immediately, when you come to the front of the chair, you sit up instead of sitting down, and the breath changes, and even the way you feel changes, from being like this to like this. Hello, here I am. So that can be empowering just in itself. And I like to set people up in that first so that they can really have that good alignment as well through their body, that for safety, they feel safe as well, not just physical safety, but they actually feel safe. And they have a moment there to settle in, to get into the practice, to arrive in the practice. And then we would maybe do a little bit of breath focus. It may change, of course, as you know, depending who's there. But generally speaking, little breath focus, just getting them to connect with their body and their breath. And then start with some warm ups. So I'm very big on making sure that we warm up the body well, because a lot of times I've been to classes and people just jump into things and it's not safe. So all the joints, I usually go through all the joints, or at least movements that we will be doing later on. And then into the body of the class. So that will depend what I'm going to be doing. Maybe we'll do some sun salutations. Maybe we'll do some warrior series, some balancing, some back bends, and of course some forward bends to wind us down at the end to calm the system. And then a meditation or Savasana to finish. So it's just exactly like you would do on the mat, but on the chair. Yeah.
Amazing. And
Yeah.
usually, what is the length of the classes?
I usually do about 45 minutes classes, but it can change because I've done classes workshops and things where they've wanted me to do 15, 20 minutes. And it's super hard for me because I love to, once I get into it, it's like, oh my gosh, the time's gone. So, but yeah, it can be any time really, right? It really just depends on what the people want. But usually if I'm teaching a class of my own, I do 45 minutes. That's what I have found works pretty well. It's about 35 minutes of asana or setting up, warming up asana, and then 10 minutes of, meditation or breathing or mudras or something like that at the end, or shavasana. Yeah.
Incredible. Love it.
Yeah. But I guess like the other thing that people can expect too is that there will always be something for them to do. So it doesn't matter what shape we're doing, there is a way for that person to do that shape. So nobody will be sitting there going, I don't know what to do, or I can't do that, so I'm not doing anything. Because I don't know about you, but I've been to classes and I have been unable to do a shape, whatever that was, for whatever reason, injury, body shape, structure, whatever. And the teacher will just look at me and walk away without giving me anything to do. So I just sit there like an idiot. Like, I don't know, like I just feel really embarrassed, right? Because I don't know what to do. And so in our classes, we have options for everyone. So we will always be able to show someone a way to do that shape, and that also, having those options really makes it safer for people too. So they don't have to try and get their arms completely extended if they have a sore shoulder. They can have the hand on their shoulder or their hip, and it doesn't matter where they are. They're never going to be judged for it. Yeah.
Yes. Love it. I have been in classes in which I've been left out and seen like, good luck.
Yeah.
So yes.
Yeah.
We need to offer always variations, options. And I love what you were mentioning. Sometimes in traditional yoga classes, we say, big breath in, reach the arms up. But you have no idea if someone taking the class can do this. No, maybe they are here. Maybe they are here. Or they need to put it on the hips. So yes.
Yeah. But they need to be able to understand that they can choose for themselves, and by giving them these options, the way we teach too, it's progressive and not regressive. So we don't go, put your arms out, and if you can't do that, then do this, because how does that make you feel? Like, it doesn't make people, and then people are trying to do that first, which is not, like you said, you don't know if people can do that. So if you go hips, maybe on the hips, maybe on the shoulders, maybe little birdies, maybe bigger birdies, whatever you want to call it, right? Sometimes I love animals. There's always animals in my classes. So, but if we give them that journey to take, and knowing that anywhere on that journey is absolutely fine, there is no judgment. The only place that you need to be is the place that's right for you, then that just makes people feel so much better in the classes, physically and also mentally and emotionally as well. Because I don't know, I've also been to classes, and that's probably where some of my fear came from, where I got yelled at for not doing something correctly or whatever, or pushed or pulled into something that's really not right for my body. And that just causes damage physically, but emotionally it's almost abusive, and we have to get away from that in yoga. There's a lot of that in yoga. I think it's changing a bit because people are more aware, but in the past, it's been quite an abusive practice in many lineages. And so, we need to get away from that, and we need to give people their power back. And what a gift that is when we give them the power to choose. And if they can choose on the chair or the class, they can choose out there as well, so they get powerful in their own lives as well.
Love it. I always say, what we say during a yoga class as teachers, imagine if you are letting them know that they are in charge of what feels good, what feels amazing in their bodies, in their minds, it will translate to daily life. They will realize, I don't feel fine in this relationship, in this friendship, no. And I can say no.
Yeah.
That's not for me.
I'm a sovereign being. I can say no if I want. I can do what's right for me. How powerful is that? It takes people a while to actually, I've noticed, and I probably was the same, because we're all so used to just follow, to actually step into that and really stop following and think for yourself, and to take that control back. It takes a little while. So as teachers, we have to be patient as well and keep reminding them that it's their choice. And we aren't going to judge them. It doesn't matter, to us what they do, as long as they're doing what's right for them.
Yes, totally
Yeah.
agree. The
Yeah.
first time I started teaching in this freedom way, I remember I had like 20 students in a public class, and something inside me invited me to tell them, now it's time for Savasana, your final resting pose. Take a moment to notice what your mind, what your body are asking you. And everybody looked at me like, what? And I gave the option. You can be laying on your side, on your back, even legs up the wall, a seated
Yeah.
meditation.
Yeah.
And once they notice, oh, you can do this in yoga? Yes, you can. Yes. So now
Yes.
I say it every single class. I love to see that everybody is doing their thing, but in
Yeah.
Shavasana.
That's right. I think I posted just the other day about people stop apologizing to me for doing what you need to do, because I have a lot of students that come, oh, I'm really sorry. I've got a sore knee. I won't be able to do everything today. Like, and I'm just like, I honestly, it makes me more upset when people try to do everything that I'm saying in a certain way that's like everybody else or whatever, then just stepping back and doing what they need to do. That makes me happy, teacher. This makes me sad, teacher, because I think, oh, why am I not explaining that right? How can I help them to understand that they can choose and they don't have to apologize for who they are or wherever they are at that particular moment, because wherever they are is just, it's perfect for them. It's okay, and it's never going to be judged, or they're never going to be pushed to do anything that hurts them. I mean, yoga's not meant to be about pain. It's like this no pain, no gain thing that doesn't really work anyway. And also, it definitely shouldn't apply to yoga.
Yes, never,
Less pain,
never.
more gain. Yeah.
And what are some safety tips that you could share for someone that wants to practice chair yoga? They need
Yeah.
a certain type of chair, a certain type of yoga mat. What do they need?
Yeah. Well, you don't really need a mat unless you have a slippery floor. You might want to put a mat underneath your chair. But also another tip is to cut up, if you've got old mats, you can cut little hearts or stars or whatever shapes you want and make little coasters for underneath the legs of the chair and put them under there. And if you are traveling around teaching, that is a really great way to be able to carry things, because you can't always carry mats, like they're quite heavy. So cutting them up and making use of the old mats can be really helpful for underneath. But if you have a chair that has 4 legs, generally that will be a bit safer than ones that have those like rounded edges on the bottom. Just if you have those, you just know you need to kind of make sure that if you go forward or to the side, that you're being conscious that the chair may tip. So you just need to really ground yourself. But in your own body, like, most important really is to really utilize your body as well to help keep you stable. So when you get into sitting mountain, for example, that setup can carry you through the whole class. Once you ground your feet into the floor, you've got that core support, you've got that strength in your legs to help you, and that's going to help keep you stable on the chair. So then if you start moving your upper body, I just always think about our joints. We want to make sure we have space in our joints, right? So we don't want to be crushing anything together, snapping out our elbows, always keeping space and always supporting with the muscles around the joints. So go slowly, don't rush, take your time, feel it. Feel where it is that you need to be. Don't think it, because if you think it, your mind will have a story for you to tell. Oh, I've got to go here. I should go here. I've got to strive further. I've got to reach further. I've got to be like that person. I've got to be like you. It's like, but if you come back to how is that really feeling for you? How is your breath? Let your breath guide you, because your breath will never lie to you. Mind, yes, your breath will be like, that's enough. So it'll tell you. So as long as you can breathe well, you can keep relatively calm in your mind, and your body feels safe and well in the class, that's your guide. That's to where to go in those shapes.
Amazing tips. Love
Yeah.
it. And a question that I ask all the guests. Yoga for all bodies, it's all about creating variations and using props. So I would like to know, what is your favorite yoga prop and why? Only
Whoa.
one.
But I'm a Gemini. We can't make decisions.
Well, then two.
Can I say the chair? No.
Of course, yes.
Aside from the chair, I love the blocks because the blocks are applicable in mat and chair yoga. Chair yoga, they can be helpful under the feet. They can give you more height. They can be helpful if you want to use them on the ground for your hands or under you on the seat or anything. So I think the blocks are really, really versatile. Usually they're light to carry around and they can be helpful in so many different ways. And they have so many different options as well. So for a Gemini, that's great because you have lots to choose from. And you usually have two, one for each twin.
Amazing. Yes, I also love the blocks. Yes.
Yeah. And
So
again, you
perfect.
have the thing as well of people not wanting to use blocks because they think that it's, a step down from where, but they can enhance your practice so much. They can make things stronger as well. It's not just about making it easier at all. It's a support, and it can actually change the way something feels. So, yeah.
Yes. It's
Another
like,
misconception.
yes. That's why every single time I normalize. Blocks, strap, blanket, normal. It's
Yeah.
like, for me, it's like using tools in the kitchen. When we
Yeah.
cook,
Yeah.
we use so many things. And then
Exactly.
in the practice, we want our body. No, use the tools.
100%. Yes. And, if you have short arms, right? Like for me on the mat, stepping my leg forward will never happen without me being on blocks because I have to be on my fingertips. I have to lift my palms off to be able to do that. It's the shape of my body. It's never going to change. It's my structure. So it's not about me going, oh, I'm bad, I have to use blocks to do that. I'm really not a good yogi. It's actually like a physical thing that I'll never change. But having the blocks, they give me the height and the ability to do that thing that I couldn't do before. So yeah, we have to get out of the mindset that the chair or all the props or the blocks or anything are a step down from practicing real yoga. They are
A lie that
It's a
people
lie.
are saying.
Exactly, it's a lie. 100%.
And
Yeah.
finally, how can people find you? Give all the information, how they can train with you, everything.
Yes. So the website is getfitwhereyousit.com.au. And on there, you can find all the teacher training information. You can get my DVD on the website as well and find out where I'm teaching. I'm doing a few classes online as well. So, welcome to join me. I love that. And also on Facebook, it's LB Chair Yoga Australia, YouTube as well, YouTube channel. And I've just made a playlist called Chair Yoga TV. So that has lots of classes that are all recorded live. So that, there's cats coming in, there's sometimes noise, but I love that because that's real life, right? So we're going to make it real, keep it real. So you can go there. And also on Instagram, it's LBCYAU.
Amazing.
Yes.
So if you're watching this video, you have all the information. If you want to learn more, practice. So thank you, Claire, for sharing your passion, for sharing some amazing tips. I learned a lot. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was really, really great to connect with you and your community. And maybe we'll have to join each other's class one day soon.
Yes.
That would be beautiful. I'd love to do your class for sure.
Yay.
Yay.
So if you're watching this video, like it, share it, subscribe, because this is a message everybody needs to know. Chair yoga is for everybody, and yoga truly is for all bodies. Yes.
Yes.
See you, Claire. A big hug. Thank you one more time. See you at your homes in a new episode of the Yoga for All Bodies video podcast. Bye.
Bye.